Good evening. I hope you're all well. That yes was very muted, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, good. All right. Thank you very much. My name is Ochieng. I come before you as a representative of Unilever, and it gives me great pleasure to be able to share with you today. Our organization is known very much for what we do from a purposeful perspective, and it's a joy to be able to share that with you. So the bulk of what I'm going to share is going to relate a lot more to the Unilever experience, but I also get to pick a few other examples as well. Okay. So to start off, I think I'd like to start off by sharing with you a video clip that just gives a view of what Unilever's journey and purpose is. Okay. So there's one of our colleagues called Dr. Miriam Sidibe. And Dr. Miriam Sidibe says, and I quote, "Brands on a mission go beyond talk. They work for direct impact." And she continues to espouse this a lot more in her book, Brands on a Mission. For those of you who would like to learn a little bit more of that as well. She goes on to expand a little bit more and talks about the fact that for social purpose to be real, brands should not imitate charity, because that's not what it is. Brands must strive to be a lot more transparent, even as we work towards generating profit for our businesses, while addressing the social challenges that we have. But moving on, let me just share with you about the Unilever experience. So as a company, we are guided by what we call our compass. And this compass essentially is articulating what our purpose is. And it's built around 3 beliefs. And those beliefs are that people with purpose get to thrive, brands with purpose grow, and companies with purpose get to last. And this has been what has driven our business for all these years, guiding us on everything that we get to do from them. Now, as a company, we are a global entity. Right now, last year we had over 60 billion in turnover. We are available in 190 countries. Every day we serve 3.4 billion plus consumers. We are the second largest advertiser in the world. And if you look at our business, it's about 60% is in the so-called emerging markets. Not the first world, but the emerging markets. So our footprint is such that we are well distributed in the emerging markets. And for last year, for example, our performance overall for globally was just about 9% USG. Now, with the scale that we are in a very unique position to be able to use our scale to try and influence the world. And we believe in a better way, in alignment to the purpose, as I shared before. So there are certain commitments that we made that we are driving and delivering towards. For example, greenhouse gas emissions. By last year, we had reduced by 68% versus what we had in 2015, for example. Through the actions and activities of our brands in the markets that we operate in, we've touched over 686 million people through the initiatives that we run with, not just as a corporate, but what we do as a brand, for example. Coming home to Kenya, we have a factory that is based here, and from this factory, we produce the bulk of what we sell here. In the Kenyan market specifically, just about 87% of what we sell is 83% of what we sell in Kenya is produced locally, and half of what we produce at the factory is sold into the rest of East Africa, as well as we've started shipping to beyond that to the USA, for example. Okay. Now, but we try to be true to what our purpose is, and that comes through even in our brands, where we've got to articulate the purpose in. And I'll share examples with you with Sunlight, with Royco, Lifebuoy, and such. But overall, our sustainability agenda is built around these 4 pillars. It's about localization. Because of the impact we have, we believe that we can support the local economy by driving greater localization through the inputs that go into our business. Well, at this point in time, we are looking at about 45%. We are on a mission to grow that even further. So looking for opportunities for localization. Number 2, we are leaders in driving plastic circularity. Through the partnership that we have with other players in the industry, we are working with Mr. Green, for example, to drive plastic recycling, where at this point in time, we're actually recycling more than what we produce. And we brought this back into our products, where we have 100% recycled plastic packaging for our Sunlight and Vim product, for example. Diversity and inclusion is another one. Now here, we globally have made certain commitments where we are saying, how do we open opportunities for people who are underrepresented into our supply chain network? So we have people who provide us with services. Most of them are men. We are opening opportunities for women-owned businesses and youth-owned businesses and people who are differently abled. And we have specific targets to drive that with a view to landing 6.5 billion euros by the year 2025. The last pillar there is about purpose, and this comes to life through what our brands get to do. In Kenya, we've been able to touch 14 million consumers through those initiatives as well. Now, the question is, why? As a business, why do you need to have purpose? Hello? Wait. It's gone off, huh? Hello? Okay. Let me use this. So why drive purpose within our brands? Everybody out there can produce soap. Everybody out there can produce lotion. But for us, the belief we have is that the purpose actually allows us to do two things. One, create a clear distinction for ourselves and our brands. And number two, it's an opportunity for us as well to do good through what we roll out in our brands. There's research that's been done, and the research, for example, by Kantar Branzi shows that brands with purpose get to outperform those who don't have a strong purpose. And this is research that was done looking at data over 12 years, for example. Purpose in itself is not enough. So before you start talking about purpose, you need to make sure that the product that you're offering is good enough and it delivers what the consumer is looking for, value for money at the right price. So it's not about just going out there and claiming what purpose is. We're also seeing, as we saw some of the data earlier, there are shifts in terms of consumer preferences. The Gen Zs and the millennials are actually adopting and embracing the global challenges, and they're looking for brands that help to solve those problems that are out there. And they're choosing to vote for those brands that they believe are doing more than just making money from them. They're looking for brands that get to drive social and environmental change as well. So let me go through a few examples. But just before you do that, as I say, it's really not about a brand making a claim. It has to be backed by what you actually get to do and deliver as a brand. I take an example of Royco. Royco is one of our top brands, actually. And we have a mission for Royco, which is about getting to change the behavior of millions of mothers and teachers and teenage girls by making nutritious cooking more desirable and easy to understand and afford. And this now comes out through what we do on the brand. And how do we try to bring this to life? Number one, it's about how we create awareness. We saw earlier about some of the channels that we get to use. What we found works very well for us is driving awareness and education through across the medias. We use radio, we use TV, we use digital platforms as well. But a big part of what we do also is about driving penetration. How many homes and users do we get to use our product? And we found sampling to be a very strong tool for us to be able to learn that. And then also driving great execution at point of sale, such that at the point when the consumer wants to make that choice, he's able to choose us. For those of you in Kenya, you would know about Sunlight. Now, Sunlight, we've gone and done a survey. And we listened to the market. And one of the insights that we got, in the homes, our homes are essentially run by mamas and women. We saw data earlier about 50% of households being run by single women, right? Who are taking care of their households, for example. But apart from taking care of their households, it's a uniquely Kenyan thing that people look for side hustle. And in the household, women are always looking for extra ways to make their families get to thrive even better. So with that insight, our marketing team thought, how can we work with that insight and in alignment to what our purpose is, get to give back back to the community. And in this, we have different platforms. One of them, through a partnership that we have with Absa Bank, we are targeting to empower 100,000 women with business skills for them to be able to run their own businesses. As part of the initiative, the team then got to offer free advertising space on our billboards for the different women-owned and run businesses. And in some of the markets, we are driving solar power access, clean energy and light access in some of the rural markets. And all this is just not from a business perspective. It's not just because we want to do good. It's actually good for our business. And what we are seeing, for example, we have market share gains coming through, for example, 280 bips penetration going upwards of 580 bips. So while we are doing good, we are seeing benefits accruing for the business as well. Am I going backwards? Yeah, okay. So, as I said, one thing that the brand has to make sure that it delivers on is that the product itself must be the right product for the consumer, and the price has to be right as well for the consumer. Because if you just go talk about purpose, then without making sure that the offering is right, then you'll be talking to yourself. I'd like to share another example with our brand Lifebuoy. So you will recall when COVID happened, one of the decisions then we made was to go out there and support the fight against COVID. And one of the ways we did that was through supporting and sponsoring communication and advertising that was promoting hand washing and hygiene. And in those communication, we actually went beyond. It wasn't about promoting our brand. We were actually encouraging consumers to use any soap. Because at that point in time, that's what the world needed. And so we participated in that. But apart from that, the Lifebuoy brand is about helping children reach past the age of 5. And in different markets, this is a real challenge, a real problem that we have. One such market for us is in the Ethiopian market. And what we have seen is that the investment that we are putting in there has actually translated into superior performance in the market. So, unlike our peers and competitors, other brands in the market in Ethiopia, our Lifebuoy brand is just about 50% from a value share perspective and 53% from a volume perspective. And we are seeing very strong conversion from awareness going all the way into the decisions to make those purchases. So the work that we are doing around driving hand hygiene, sanitation, school programs, making sure that the product is readily accessible and affordable is translating. So the other two brands, Lux and Dove, are actually our brands. But our main competitor in that market is actually trailing behind at just about 6% value share. So what are we seeing? It's a market that purpose is actually delivering for us. Through performance, making purpose as an investment in that market, and many others that I can cite where we are seeing value there. And similarly, there's a strong conversion, as I mentioned, of Lifebuoy awareness, moving to consideration all the way to purchase decision as well. I also want to bring this home. This is not us. This is, as you can see, this is Safaricom. Now, Safaricom, as we all know, is a very strong brand in our part of the world. Safaricom articulates its purpose as transforming lives by connecting people to people, to opportunities, and to communication. And out of that, they've built these 3 pillars around their support. Number 1, it's about running a responsible business. It's about people. It's about the planet. And it's about the shared values. Developing solutions that help their customers and their consumers to mitigate the challenges that we go through life. And the example I wanted to use here is, for example, the Fuliza solution. With Fuliza, you find that it's aligned to what their purpose is. And they're helping Kenyans to be able to unlock access to financial limitations, challenges that they have out there. And out of the 35 million, this for data for last year, 35 million daily active base that they have, the penetration for Fuliza was 80%. So 80% of the active base actually using the service. And they've dispersed over 500 billion over the whole of last year. Those are real staggering numbers. And for those who are using the service, they are benefiting. But Safaricom, for those of you who follow their results, their earnings from financial services, the contribution from that has really gone up, isn't it? Yeah? So purpose really reflecting even in other businesses as well. So, just to bring it home, just to reinforce, it's about being very clear on what your brand stands for. It's about building meaningful, trustworthy relationships with your consumers. It's about having purpose at the heart of the organization. It's not something that you say at the sides. It has to be embedded and run through the DNA of the business. And if you put in the investment, it takes time. It's not something that you do and in 1 year, you start seeing the results. It's a long-term investment. And for us as Unilever, globally, but we're also seeing that in our part of the world, it's actually helping to drive our business. Our business in Africa and in Asia are actually outperforming the rest of the global businesses and in terms of growth and performance. And we are seeing real value coming through from purpose. So, that is all I had to share with you. I didn't want to keep you for too long, seeing that dinner is waiting for us. Otherwise, thank you very much. I hope it's been helpful. Thank you.